And we're live. And we're live. Well, I guess I'll wait. This is my first streaming tryout test on YouTube, so whoever's watching, welcome. Whoever's watching, welcome. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Yeah, I'm still trying to get used to this live and trying to figure out how everything works. So I'm kind of looking around and trying to figure out how everything works. I did say in one of my past videos that once I pass 1,000 subscribers, I will start streaming. Yeah, go ahead. How you doing, Carmen? Yeah, go ahead. How you doing, Carmen? Thanks for coming on to this first live stream of mine. I've been trying to find more. I don't know much about Ashbeth. I'm probably saying that incorrectly. Hold on. Asheth. I mostly worked with Lilith and I mostly worked with Lilith a lot actually. When I always went into the clip off, if there was a specific goetic spirit that I wanted to work with, I would go in and I would, instead of bringing the goetic spirit here, I would astrally work with them. That's really kind of my method. I have heard of the spirit, but I've never worked with the spirit, so I can't really tell you any good sources. I mean, the source I could actually recommend is by Thomas Carlson, his Cliponic book, the Goetia and Cliponic Magick. That is one of my favorite books when it comes to the clip-off. I wish I could answer, the question better about that. Yeah, I have never worked with that spirit, but now that you actually bring it up, I am going to do some research and maybe work with her. I'm actually looking her up at the same time, but I've heard of her before. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Oh, hey, black-pilled son, welcome. Welcome, man. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, this is kind of exciting because I've never done this before. Yeah, I'm sure not a lot of people have worked, but I like, Carmen, I like working with spirits that that are very rare. Like, I'll give you an example. I've worked with Pazuzu, and I'm actually using Pazuzu now. I'm sorry, I'm not using, asking for help. I don't want to. I'm asking for his help because of, all this corona stuff flying around. I was thinking to myself about the plague, and I think, wait a minute, he keeps the plague away. And since I part time work at a grocery store, I thought it would be best to ask Pazuzu for help. So I think Pazuzu's great right now to help and ask to keep the plague away and to try to keep safe during this time. But anyway, Lamastu, which not Pazuzu's consort, a lot of people don't know her. I've noticed. I worked with her because I wanted to work with spirits not a lot of people work with. I found that really fascinating and interesting. So yeah, so now I'm interested in Esbeth. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Eseth. Um, yeah, I wish I could, answer the question better, but that's what I got at the moment. I do everything by by my method and my experience in magic. Um, yeah, everybody else, welcome. I see that 5 people are watching, and thank you, Black Pilled Sun, that joined, Carmen, and whoever 3 of you that joined too. Appreciate it. Yeah, if this goes well, I'll probably do this every week. Welcome. How you doing, Feleth Seafer? Sorry, I'm kind of squinting because my screen's kind of wide, but the letters are small, so I'm trying to figure out. I mean, trying to see what the heck's going on. I'm still trying to figure out all this, this streaming stuff right now. It's very new to me. I have a Twitch channel that I stream, games that I play that have to do with occultism. But it's not. This was a little bit tricky to actually set up. So, but yeah, merry meet. Thank you for joining the party. Let's change the color to a nice Yasad. Wait a minute, is that purple or not? Yeah, it is. You know what, Black Pilled Son? Honestly, I think demonic spirits have their favorites, and I'll tell you why. So in New York, we have the OTO. I am not a big fan of the OTO here, only because I had a bad experience, and I will not say whom, but I had a bad experience there. But anyway, they were talking about the Goetia there, and somebody who was talking about Goetia, about the myth of Goetia and where it actually originated, Middle Ages. One person worked with Lilith, and Lilith drove this person crazy. He's like, I will never work with Lilith again. And to be honest, I actually do not remember the magician. I don't remember the person's name because I just came in just for the seminar because of, out of curiosity. And yeah, I do think Lilith spirits have their favorites. I don't think everybody could work with every spirit. That's why in one of my videos I talk about what you feel drawn to. If you feel drawn to this specific spirit, then there's a reason that you feel drawn to it. I hope that answers. Also, wait, like favorite people to work with. I see that. About the human traits. Well, the thing is, there's a lot. I'll give you an example. My main spirits that I work with would be Lilith and Pazuzu, and I work with the Baphomet. Now, that's another thing interesting about the Baphomet. I do not work with the Baphomet the way everybody else does, and I will probably create a video about that. Um, a lot of people think that the Baphomet is some sort of deity, and be honest, I really don't think it's a deity. I think, and this is my personal work, I think that the Baphomet is a miniature godhead. If you look at the godhead and of what it is as a whole, I think the Baphomet is a miniature godhead that the magician can actually put together. It's a system that I created, but I have not really. There's a system I created, but I will probably be releasing once I get everything figured out as a plan that everybody could benefit from it. But that's for future stuff. Yeah. I love Lilith very much. Oh, message retracted. I did see that you love Lilith, so I love Lilith very much so too. Lilith is freaking awesome. And Seth thinks so too. I like Seth. Anything on the dark path I enjoy. Anything on the dark path I enjoy. They are really badass demons. And what's funny is that they're air demons. um, Lilith and Pazuzu really go well together. And I had one experience I had with Pazuzu is that before I started working with the clip off, I actually wanted to get to Kether. I was in a hurry to get to Kether because I wanted to meet my holy guardian angel or the Godhead. And yeah, man, Set is freaking amazing. He is. Well, I'll tell you about Set in a second. So, I mean, my experience with Set. So, Kether. Oops, sorry, I'm grabbing Set here. Pazuzu is a very wise spirit. Okay. I did not read too much about him by working with him, but I do think he is some sort of a wise spirit. Some people might not agree with me. Dragged me. He pulled me through Doth into Kether. So he guided me through that during my journeys. I don't know if that would work for somebody else, but it might not. But it worked for me. But that's just my experience with him. Set is amazing. When I work with Set, I worked with him in Yesod in the Tree of Life, but to me he came about as just a bodyguard. I've never really worked very deeply with him, but know that everybody has their own experiences with magic, and you want to keep magic grounded. You kind of want to read as much as you can and then take in the experiences that you go through instead of listening to other magicians and other books because that's their experiences, you know. But that's just the way I have a certain method of working, and I'm sharing these methods to see if it works with other people. Oh, your mic has sort of a delay effect on maybe. Yeah, it does have a bit of a delay effect. I am still trying to figure this out. So if there's some sort of delay, I apologize. Um, how much delay is it? Is it like when I talk, does it you hear it back once or how? Can you explain? Because I can't hear it. Because it's streaming. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm still trying to figure this out. So forgive me. I'm sure by the next streams I'll get everything kind of working. This is my first stream, so guys, forgive me. I don't want it to be, unbearable. What kind of magical practice were you in? Fele Cipher. Sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly. Forgive me. How long have you not been doing any magical practice? Also, is there a delay now or not really? Well, demonolatry, yes. I've never worked with hoodoo, so I can't really tell you anything about that. But getting into practice, um, well, that's the thing with lockdown. If you have time, probably is the best time to get back into the practice. Um, what you want to do. Thanks, guys. I will figure it out. It's just when I was trying. Well, anyway, let me get back to answers Feels questions. What is a good time to get into practice? Start little. Don't go full force. Just start little. Even the thing with the magician is that you could even do something and practice the magic in the mind while you're even doing some physical labor. Like, I'll tell you one thing. I had to clear out some energy while I'm working hey Cerberus, hold on a minute. I'm answering a question, but welcome. Thanks for coming, man. The thing is, I was working at a grocery store and I had to clear out some energy because some people came in and freaking, I could feel their energy from a mile away and I needed to push that crap away. So I already mentally, asked Pazuzu to actually push stuff away. So you could just try to get into magic little by little, even just meditating on a sigil or any deity or anything that you were working with before. I mean, it's really not difficult to kind of get back into the practice of things, but I do really believe that the practice is much more important. Both are important. Reading is important and practice, but I do think practice will get you much farther in your development of what you're trying to develop as a magician and to get to where you want to go, either to your godhead, to your diamond, or another way of looking at it is combining both, where you actually take the diamond, which is the dark half, and you take the godhead, which is the light, and combine them. I am still working on that for myself. Again, if there's some delay, I am sorry. I'll figure this out. I'm still trying to figure out. Wow, 8 people. I'm actually surprised because I didn't think like one person because I didn't give enough time. I put it out 2 hours ago that I'm going to be streaming. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I wish I could go give you a little bit better advice, but yeah. So everybody, how is everybody doing? How you guys taking this quarantine? I don't even watch the news anymore, to be honest with you. When it comes to this is some good advice that I feel might help. When you want to see or hear the spirit, okay, The problem with contacting spirits is that there's egregores that are created in the astral world because of everybody's idea of how the spirit looks. And I've talked about this in my previous videos. Let's say you want to call Seth. Okay, there's Seth, and then there is the egregore version of Seth, which is not the real version of Seth. You want to call the deity that you want to call, and then once you feel or hear the deity in your mind, it doesn't matter if you physically, only if it pictures in your mind, push it away. If it keeps coming back, it is the real deity. If it does not keep coming back, it's just your imagination creating that deity of that egregore. Hope that helps. That helps me. Cerberus, about ancient aliens, I really never really looked into that. Well, Thor and Ragnarok, yeah. But I really don't know too much about the Norse. I've always was so interested in Babylonian and Egyptian, but I do have to look more into the Norse work too. But you know what messes with me? The Marvel movies. I know it sounds stupid, but because everybody freaking puts Thor and all that with a fake version of Thor, like not the real idea of Thor, it messes. I have to. It messes with me. Great, I'm gonna have to figure out this delay. Two other people came in. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. If there's a delay, I'm sorry. I'm still figuring out the chat. Still figuring how all this stream is healthy. Oh, okay. I'm just looking at how all this is going. Yeah. But yeah, anybody, you know what? Guys, tell me about your what magic you're into. What deities you guys are into. Who do you like working with? I'm curious. Thank you, Leah, and thank you and welcome, and that means a lot. That's really cool. I'm happy the channel helps you in some ways. I'll give you some advice in a second. Black Pilled Sun, demonolatry is awesome, and I would consider myself a demonolatrist. I am not a ceremonial magician, really, because I really do not like to prepare a crap load of instruments to call a spirit when I could already do it with my visualization. But nothing to other people. Don't get me wrong. That's great. It's just what works for me. Okay, Leah. Now, with visualization, you know what? I'll be right back. I'll show you something. It's not here. Hold on. Hold on a second. Okay. Leah, this is kyanite. Okay. I don't know if you could see this. I'm not going to put it too close to the camera because if I do, it gets kind of like blurry or something. This stone really helped me with visualization in the beginning. Because when I started, I couldn't visualize crap. I closed my eyes and all I saw is pure blackness, which is funny because I was actually working with set. So with this, you would get it, you would put it on your third eye or, right between your eye, I mean, over here. And you would just try to feel its energy and try to visualize stuff. And this really helped me. I hope that helps if you're having a lot of trouble. But I would say just keep practicing. Even if you, let's say, want to visualize something, take, I don't know, a controller or something, and amethyst. You've been working with amethyst. I've never really worked with amethyst. Does it have properties when it has to do with visualization? That's really cool, Phil. Solitary. That's really cool. I'm glad I have somebody else that works with Pazuzu other than me. Not many work with Pazuzu. Leah, I'm pretty sure that it will develop in third eye. I don't know too much about it. Um, but I will say that just keep practicing. Imagine, even if you sit in one room and you imagine a chair, just try to imagine as much detail as you can. What usually happens is that once you get that into good practice, it will just start forming on its own. That's what happened to me, and I had really bad visualization. So it could be learned. I've never practiced hoodoo or folk magic, but I've always wondered about it. There's just so much magic that could be learned. It's crazy. That's cool, Serbius, with the Nordic traditions. I really don't have much experience, but I do have experience with Baal. I've worked with the thunder god Baal and his other part, which I would consider Baal. No, Leah, look into it. It really helps. If there's anything else I could, I'll try to answer your questions the best to my ability. And if I don't know, I will say I don't know. Serbius, the thing with Baal is that he screwed with me once. Like when I first contacted him, I forgot I asked him a question and he keep just repeating the answer over and over again in different ways, but then I realized that he wasn't talking to me. He was talking around me. He was messing with me. Then after 2 or 3 times of contacting him and asking him, "Can you please stop messing with me?" Eventually he said, "Okay." So, yeah, that was interesting. Oh wow, I'm happy. That's great, man. Hooray! Hooray! I'm happy that it broke the ice because I know how hard it is to get out the first time. Oh my God, it is freaking tricky to get out the first time. So that's great, man. I'm very happy. Take your time, Fail, when getting to your path. You know what? It's your path. It's your way. It's no other person's way. You get there when you get there. That's how I look at it. Like, I'm into demonolatry now. Before I was into the Golden Dawn. And what the heck am I going to be into 10 years from now? We evolve as we learn more and more, or our thoughts change from one idea that we had or experiences and form into another. That's great. I'm so happy, Serbius. The rolling out really helped me. The rope technique didn't help me. I put it in there because I thought maybe it would help someone else. Because every time I used the rope technique, I felt like I was hitting the ceiling or something. I'm glad that helped. You know, it's very interesting. I'm trying to find. Do you guys see? While you are guys are streaming, do you see the or is the chat below? I'm trying to figure out. Oh no, that's OBS. Yeah, never mind. I'm trying to still figure this crap out. Oh, I could see that. I know about a lot of tree work, but I've never worked with rigging cell. Interesting, rigging cell towers in tree work. Look, I'm just glad it worked. Um, you know, um, but that's really cool. Um, so how is everybody doing, man? Okay, let me move this here. I'm trying to just get everything even. I don't have a really big screen. I mean, I do, but everything's kind of mixed up. Black pilled sun. This is an interesting part to about offerings. Okay, so I've used Lilith many. I gotta stop saying I didn't use Lilith. I worked with Lilith. God. Um, I did a blood offering to her. I didn't really work with blood magic once, but I mean, I didn't work with it much because I wasn't a really big fan of it, and plus, I don't like pricking and cutting, and I'm not into that. But I decided I'll prick my finger. I put it on her sigil because I've worked with Lilith so much, and I felt that she's been with me through this lifetime and many other lifetimes. And she told me, "What the heck are you using blood magic for? We're already bound." So okay. So it depends on the deity. That's what I want to say. It depends on deity. You could ask the deity, "What would you like?" Would you like me? Unless if the deity says go jump in front of then there's something wrong there. But and I don't suggest doing what the deity says. It depends what the if a deity would ask somebody to do something very dangerous, I don't believe it's that deity. I've worked with Baal. Like I didn't finish with Baal. Baal to me, it's great that he was like a rich grandfather. That's interesting. Oh, interesting. Um, with Baal, that's so interesting to me. He just played games. I mean, it didn't really connect with me in the beginning, but I didn't work enough with him. I only worked with him because I was working with the thunder god Baal, and I understood that Baal was another idea of Baal in the Goetia. So I wanted to see the other part of it. But after a while, like when I meditate and I go meet Baal, this is what I do. I cleanse the room. I make sure that there was no egregores or any energies that my mind will create is around in the room. And then I astrally leave my body and then I go there. I deal with the goetic spirits there. I don't bring them here because I wouldn't like somebody dragging me out of my own comfortable space. Well, that's great. The thing with him with money, he did help me. I had some money problems once, and Baal actually helped me find some money in the street. Like I had problems, and all of a sudden I found $100 laying on the floor in the street. So I'm like, it had to be Baal, man. It had to be Baal, man. So I could see that, but I need to work more. I listen. I am painting a picture of Baal. On I will finish it eventually, but I am painting a picture to say thank you to him. But Baal is a he's an interesting character. Character. I mean spirit. Sounds like a character. That's cool. See, I love these little things when doing some work or magic, and then, you find something or something happens. I've noticed that if you are just dealing with the deity and not asking the deity, oh, please give me. I've noticed this on a lot of forums that a lot of people just work with the Goetia just to ask shit. Oh, that's cool. Huge murals are awesome. That's great, man. I probably messed up when I just say murals. It's hard to say for me. Black pilled. It is a practice to do that, and it's my method. I have never ever read people actually astral project and go and deal with the goetic spirits on their home turf. The only way I did this is because I thought to myself, why the heck am I going to drag this? If I'm sitting in a room and somebody drags me, says, you know what, I want you to do this, I would be so pissed off. So, about going to them, first, I suggest getting a spirit that you know and you have some sort of relationship that you could evoke. I, for instance, will evoke Lilith. I will ask Lilith to help me go meet this new goetic spirit that I've never met, and then she takes me and takes me to their area. That's how I suggest to do it. I don't really suggest to do it on your own until you have a good relationship with the spirit itself. That's awesome. I've never met Beleth. Um, who I worked with in Astral was Baal, Lilith, Nama, um, Astroth. Astroth was kind of tricky. All I saw was a female green mist with a bunch of snakes, and it was really, really dark and green. But that's just how, they appeared to me. You never know with this stuff, Oh, that's interesting, Beleth. I need to look up Beleth. Also, do you guys see everybody else's chat? Because I'm looking at this and I'm trying to figure out why it's not popping like I'm chatting with you through YouTube, but I can't see it on the top chat window of the pop up on the screen. So the pop-up on the screen. So okay, I gotta figure this out eventually. Okay, I gotta figure this out eventually. Oh, that's nothing. As long as you guys could see it, that's good, because I don't see nothing. All I see is what you guys are writing me, but I'm looking at the YouTube screen. I don't see crap. All you hear is echo. So you don't hear me, you just hear an echo? Like, does it delay much after? I'm gonna have to figure this stuff out. And I have it on low latency. Yeah, if you guys are, I hope you guys are, it's not too bad. I'll figure this out, I promise. It's not too bad. I'll figure this out, I promise. Fail, that's great. I really don't ask. I usually also ask him for guidance. I usually also ask him for guidance. Oh, okay. No, I hear you well. Echo is not very delayed. Okay. No, I hear you well. When I was setting this up, I was going on YouTube trying to figure this crap out, and it says if there's some sort of delay, but I didn't hear any delay or echo when I did a test. Oh well. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. If there's, I'll figure this out. In the next stream, if this keeps going well, then I will start doing other streams. See how this stuff goes. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Hope you guys are having fun. No, really. This is cool, man. Let's change the color. I hear your voice and I hear the echo. I'm sorry to laugh. I'm just imagining with the echo. I mean, do I even hear it? One. Okay, I hear the echo. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Wait a minute. Let's see if this works. 100. Let me see. 1, 2. Hello? Oh, there is an echo still. Oh shit. Now it's delayed. It's delayed even more. Anyway, I put it back to 300 ms. Was it like the way it was before? Hold on, let me try 200. Tell me if it's better, because I think this is what there's a latency thing on this OBS that I'm using. Is that better or no? Testing 1 2 3 Lilith. Testing 1 2 3 Lilith. I'll figure it out. I'll somehow make this a lot cooler. I gotta put some demons in the background and make it even more cooler, man. Have to figure all that stuff out. You know. But yeah. So, any other questions? Anybody have anything on their mind? Wow, it's 7:44. Wow, well, time flies. So how is everybody doing? What magical practice are you guys doing now while you guys are in quarantine? If you're in quarantine, I don't know what you guys are up to. Moloch. Oh, that's something interesting. Okay. The thing with Moloch is I had issues financially, and and then I started having dreams of gold and calves. For a couple of days, I've been having dreams of gold and calves and naked women. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. And I don't think it was just I think it had to do with Moloch. Um, I'll get to you in a minute, Black Pilled Sun. So with Moloch, he has to do with gold and trade. He has to do with the marketplace. And I realized that because I found some gold stuff that I had laying around that I didn't use that I sold that I had to pay a bill. And so Moloch showed that to me. So then I decided to astrally go meet him in Thermael. Is it Thermael? I mean, I always mess up when I pronounce the Cliponic names because it's just Thermael. So anyway, when going to him there, I saw a golden statue that talked. Um, it was very dark, and he was very kind and very nice. I felt that he was very wise in his delivery of things. I've also was wondering. I asked, in a lot of stories about you, people sacrifice their children to you. He says, listen, I didn't ask them to do anything. They're the ones that were sacrificing their children. I didn't ask them to do nothing. So that was his answer to me. What is his answer going to be to someone else? I have no idea. Now, I hope that gives you some. I did paint a picture of Moloch. I have no idea if you guys saw it, but I will show it in the next stream once I figure this crap out. I've been trying to astral project, but can't. Black pilled, it takes time to astral project. It took me a long time. I do think that a good thing to do is to get Kayanite and put it on the third eye. I'm serious. This really helped me get everything going. I don't like to depend on external things, but this really did help me. Try to find some Kayanite, but keep trying. There's different types of projection. Yeah, I did show it in a video, Serbius, about the astral projection. I was Fail. I was never really a Satanist. I never considered myself a Satanist. I was a Satanist as a teenager, though. I liked Anton Zendur LaVey, but I was like rebelling against everything at that time. Nothing against Anton. I think Anton was a very smart man. I'm just saying that for me, I went more toward Kabbalah and dark Kabbalah, or Gothic Kabbalah, if you look at the Dragon Rouge. But I still work with more of my system than any other systems that I might, play with. Um, about working with demonolatry, that's only because once I reached a certain part of my Godhead, I thought there was only one goal when I wanted to reach Godhead. I had this idea that God is in the Godhead of Kether. I just thought that. And I dragged myself all the way up there, fighting to get up there as fast as I possibly could without exploring each sphere and working on myself. And that was my mistake. I don't suggest anybody else to do that because this is a journey of experiencing and growth on all aspects, not to get to the top. You miss a lot of stuff by not doing that. But anyway, I went all the way up there, and then Lilith comes to me and tells me it's your time to go into the clip off. So that's kind of how I got into it. The thing with dark matter. Now, this is very interesting because a lot of magicians who I fought saying that the dark matter is where the demons are and the void and that's another reason why I thought the Dragon Rouge was interesting, because I already thought of those things before I read the book of Carlson's. Um, the OTO thought I was nuts. I was also in the Temple of Thelema. I'm not a Thelemite. I respect Thelemites. It's fine. I'm just not a Thelemite. I'm not a very religious person. I'm Jewish, half Jewish, so I kind of feel toward that part. Um, the dangers of astral projection into the void of dark matter. The thing with dark matter, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what it is. Is it a residue from the clip-off? Does it hold the whole clip-off together? Um, what I experienced when it comes to deities and dark matter is, let's say you want to go call a deity. Let's take Seth again, for instance. We want to call Seth. But there's the true energy of Seth, the original energy. And then there is the dark matter version of Seth, which is an egregore of what everybody thinks Seth is. And that's why I do say read as less as you possibly can, so the egregore isn't created, and what you see is not the true image of Seth, but you see the egregoric dark matter version of Seth. No, it's not all unicorns and rainbows. I've noticed that a lot of dark things, when it comes to dark matter, it's the thing is that dark matter, I do believe that our body has a mind of its own, and a lot of it has to do with dark matter. I used to think dark matter is super negative. I do think it has negative aspects, but I'm trying to understand it more. Because one time I used to push as much dark matter away from me as I possibly could. But then, how you going, if you keep pushing this thing away, which fills up the earth and fills up the void, and all the demons are living in it? I mean, you'll be pushing this away. Are you going to be even learning something? So there has to be a way to mutate and use alchemy to change that dark matter into something that is usable for growth, if that makes any sense. And I need to get more into that, because I need to try to figure that out. I will, as soon as I figure it out, I will share it. Yes, dark matter has a part of being a spiritual parasite. I do notice that around people who are super negative in a way that they can't feed off their godhead or feed off their diamond, yet they feed off other people because they don't know where to get that energy. And it attacks you right in the throat, and that's where the da'ath is actually with the chakras. It's in the throat. So, and I do think that's the way through the clip-off too, is through da'ath. I think that's where the gateway is. But that's my theory. That's actually what I went through to get to the clip-off through da'ath. I hope that makes some sense. I remember talking about dark matter before, and people were like, "You're a nut. What the hell are you talking about?" You know. Also, do I believe godhood is possible in this life? Don't know. We're in human bodies. I mean, we go as we can, and we get as much information as we can. Could we stay in that state of enlightenment? No, because we live in the material plane, and it's very hard to stay in a state of enlightenment for a very long time. But it's like cleaning your shoes. They get a bit dirty, you clean them off. I hope that makes some sense. Also, the weather's been crazy in New York. Is the delay strong, or is it okay? Mm. Interesting. Sacrifice their righteousness. You know what comes to my mind while you're saying that? Um, Goetia. Okay, they're they're part of dark matter. There's a lot of dark matter in Goetic spirits. Um, but I've noticed dark matter also used like a veil. You contact a spirit you never contacted before. It has a defense mechanism. Part of it is probably the dark matter, but once you break through that defense mechanism, the spirit changes. I've had that experience. That's a very good idea, very good theory, Black Pill. The definition of a god is an adult spirit, and we're like baby stars trying to grow into adulthood. That's beautiful. I actually like that. Oh, you're an SC. I mean SC. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of getting warm here too. It's kind of getting humid actually. So yeah, I could see that. The weather's been really weird, and I'll tell you, when the weather changes, I start getting really bad migraines. I might as well go to a spirit and ask for a migraine issue with that, but no, I'm not going to do that. I'll just take a pill. Little things that I could solve on my own, I'm not gonna, you know, ask a deity to help. I usually just ask him for guidance, knowledge, and how do I solve the problem. And sometimes spirits, they never really tell you. They just freaking play with you. They just tell you one way, and then you have to figure it out your own. I mean, you have to figure it out on your own. Cerberus, you're so right. I don't know why everybody has this crazy idea that angels are just so good and demons are so bad. An angel could rip you in three parts, especially an Enochian angel. So I don't know why people have this idea that if a human has all these different gray areas, just so as a spirit does. So I totally agree with you with that. Yeah, you're so right. Evil is you know, there's different types of evil. I do think by with Thomas's Carlson's book, he describes different types of evil. Human evil, I could see that. I have never really dove into the idea of. I try to make sure that I don't get too dove in what's good and what's evil, so it doesn't interfere with me growing spiritually. What's the theory, Sir Briss? I'm interesting. I'm interested. Sorry, it's interesting. Interested. Feel about angels. I've worked with him a while. When I was trying to reach my Godhead, I worked with angels a lot. And you know what? I probably should sometimes work with angels. There has to be some sort of balance between working with the clip-off and the tree of life, because I did notice that when I work with the clip-off a long time, I start getting very disconnected from everything. Disconnected from people, disconnected from everything. But that's just how it affects me, though. I think it might not exist, black pill it as how we see it. Humans have to identify with something. I mean, I've noticed that people say don't put labels on everything. The way the human figures something out is they put a label so they could actually identify it. So I don't think I could see why the idea of good and evil exists to try for the human to actually figure out what the hell's going on, even though it might not really be that. Oh, Servius, I agree with you there. I mean, as above, so below as above. I mean, whatever we could do here will affect up. So I don't know why some people don't even think that it doesn't affect. Um, Look, Pazuzu's considered a good demon. He's not considered an evil one. He's not considered an evil one. Serbius, you're right on that. I'm not going to argue with that. I like that theory. It makes sense. I hope Angel doesn't punch me in the face. Probably hurt pretty bad. I'll tell you what happened with a friend of mine. She was fighting magic. Sometimes I realize I think it's a 50-50. Sometimes things are pushed in life that you cannot avoid. And I told her she had to be a witch. And she's like, I don't like that stuff. I don't do any of that stuff. Anyway, then a couple of nights later, she had angels come to her dream and beat the living shit out of her in the dream. She woke up and then she called me and saying, hey, listen, I need to go be a witch. What the hell am I supposed to do? That was... That's actually kind of interesting. Oh, so it's Serbian, Russian. Oh, wow, okay. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Siberia. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why. I have very small letters on the chat, so forgive me if I've been pronouncing your name incorrectly. Siberia. Hope I'm pronouncing it right now. So it would be Siberius. Okay. That's Serbius. Why did I keep thinking Serbius? Oh, anyway. Again, I'm sorry if Siberius that was pronouncing incorrectly. Yes, black pilled. It could be an initiation. Sometimes they initiate in really weird ways. Like Kali lets me drink blood from a skull. Okay. Siberius. Okay, good. I'm glad. I don't want to be pronouncing people's names wrong. I'm eventually going to upgrade this camera because I'm using a webcam now. I rather use the Lumix G7 that I use to record my YouTube videos because the quality is much better, but eventually I have to save up to get some stuff for it. But yeah, so hopefully the quality will get better. Hopefully I'm not too blurry. Okay. Okay, that's that. Okay. Well, I hope you guys are having. You have any guys have any more questions? Siberius, I don't know. If I don't know, I'm not gonna act like I do. I'll tell you one thing. I see a lot of magicians that act like they know everything, and then sometimes they say something that I know about, and it sounds like absolute bullshit. And I think to myself, it's better to admit that you might not know something. And I'll tell you right now, I don't know. And I'll tell you right now, I don't know. Does anybody still hear the delay or no? Excuse me or no? Excuse me or no? Shit. Squatches, welcome. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Great, there's still a delay. Unfortunately, I'll figure it out. Tarot, interesting. Be honest with you, with the tarot, I need to get better at it. I do sometimes read tarot for myself when I. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Squatchish. Squat shucks. I don't know if X is pronounced. um, what's it called? With the tarot, I read when I'm supposed to. When I don't feel confident doing it. Anyway, any spell that I do or do something, I will read the tarot to make sure that it doesn't bite me in the ass. I always fight with the idea: does karma exist, or doesn't it exist? Is a black magician the karmic guy? Right on, man. Right on, Fonty. Fatani. Okay, Siberius. What is it? Okay, Siberius. What is it? That's interesting. But what comes to my mind by reading Siberius? What comes to my mind is the ego death. Yeah, I'll Squatch. I'll answer you in a second. Um, ego death. I tried in the beginning of my magic to kill my ego. That's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. I thought that if I kill my ego, I will become a ray of light. Listen, this is before I went into demonolatry. Everybody has to go through their path. We need the ego. We need it because it's some sort of identity. If you remove the ego, you will absolutely become a vegetable. I figured that out for myself, and because for everybody else, it's going to be different, and I can't question that. I think it needs to be transformed. I think it needs to be learned. Dark matter has to do with. Thank you. You agree with me. It has to be learned. There's a lot of dark matter in the ego. It's very fascinating. It's an ego. See, egos shouldn't be a bad word. Every time everybody says ego. Squatch, let me get to your with sweet sleep paralysis demons. What are your thoughts? I have not worked. I have never had sleep paralysis. I've heard of sleep paralysis demons, but I have never experienced it. The thing with that is fear. Now, a smart magician, a smart person who studies the occult, will go into magic with fear. You're not going to jump into the freaking fire saying, I don't fear anything, and then it bites you in the ass. You want to jump in and be cautious. So there could be a lot of things going on with the paralysis, and I'm only saying this because I'm not I don't have experience with it, but I would assume that fear can add to the dark energy because fear will create dark matter. I do think fear creates an egregore of dark matter. I've felt that. I've felt that. My thoughts on voodoo traditions. I had an experience once. I lived in Jamaica for a while, and I actually bought a human skull. Now, know that I was really young, and I believed every word the Grand Grimoire said. And there was a spell about how to become invisible. It had to do with grabbing a human skull, putting raisins in his eyes, and pouring it with vodka or some sort of liquor. I'm not kidding. And that I don't know how the hell I bought somebody. I went to some sort of doctor store and I actually bought a real skull and held it under my bed. It was kind of nuts. I didn't know what the hell I was doing at that time. Hey, but with mistakes you get better, you know. After many years. Um, Animal sacrifice. I love animals. I have a cat who hides all the time called Heidi. Black cat that I rescued. I love animals. I don't really think I maybe at a certain time maybe it was needed. Maybe people just had nothing better to do. If a deity asked me, thank you, thank you for joining us, Dion. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for joining. I actually did not know I would have some people on. This is one big huge experiment for me, and I realize that there's a lot of delay while we are doing this. So yeah. Um, I'm not a fan of animal sacrifice. What I think is people back then felt that they needed to. Okay, you know what? What a good comparison is. You go to church. Um, I don't think so. My speakers are actually off right now. There's some sort of delay going on. And I don't know where it exactly it's coming from. I just changed the MS to 400. I don't know if that helps. 1, 2. Yeah, I could hear the delay. I actually have no guy's idea where that's coming from. I will figure it out though. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's weird because when I was streaming some stuff on Twitter, I mean Twitch gaming, I didn't have this. Yeah, I'm sorry about the delay. But no, my speakers are not on. Well, I will fix it. I promise. I'll figure it out. This is my first test, so I didn't know what the heck to expect anyway. You know, so that's that. As long as it doesn't sound like noise in the ear, you know, all that noise. Anyway, do you guys go to other I know my channel is occult and music. Do you guys subscribe to any other occult channels? I play EverQuest. You can go on Twitch, join me in EverQuest if you want. I play P99 right now. I play classic games. Role-playing magic games. I actually love KFC chicken, but I suffer from heartburn, so I can't eat that anymore. I've worked with Candle Magic once when I was very young, and I don't remember what I did with it. I might have to look into it. Oh, thank you, Siberius. I really appreciate it. I try to be as practical and as grounded as possible. To be honest, I think a lot of magicians um, get very ungrounded, and you want to start. You want to keep everything here, kind of. You want to kind of balance that out. You know, it is a two-edged sword. Man, now the delay is bothering me, but if I don't want to mess up the stream, so. I've met some magicians and people who do magic who I think are a little bit, I don't know, way off. But that's also my opinion, my thoughts about the thing. Everybody has their path, and you can't really judge anybody else's path. I realize that. Because a lot of magicians fight about bullshit. My path is better than your path. My path is true. Yours isn't. Oh, Jesus, whatever. Holy Moses. I've heard of D.H. Thorne. Never read it, but I've heard of D.H. Thorne. Yeah, but I've never read anything by them. Look, there's one person that I know that gets a lot of publicity is E.A. Coetting, and I can't watch his channels. I tried and I got lost. Oh, we're not talking about people. I'm not going to continue talking about that. Let's change the subject. I totally agree. Let's talk about demons. I gotta look more into hoodoo. I've really never worked with hoodoo or voodoo. Well, wait a minute. I did work with voodoo once. I think I made a doll, but I was so young, and that doesn't count. That's just a person trying to screw around. No, the stream's all cool. We're here to talk about good stuff. Demons are nice and have a bad rap. That's why most of my music is freaking about my experiences. And I mean, Ancient Serpents is all about Lilith, really. That must be cool to see hoodoo down there. I would be fascinated with that. I will say, um, I've worked with one Orisha. Oh, God, yeah, and I forgot her name. That bad. No. Um, that'll come to my mind. I might want to look into it myself now with hoodoo. For sure, man. For sure. Okay, wait a minute. Who? Oh, cool. I never worked with Ogun. Ojun. If I'm saying that incorrectly, kill me. Black Pilot, make sure that you post a link. I will check it out. Black Pilot, make sure that you post a link. I will check it out. When I have time, but I'll check it out. I promise. I keep my promises. I keep my promises. Oh, Goon. Okay, thank you so much. That makes me feel better. I'd never want to mispronounce a deity's name. That's so disrespectful. Surprised Lilith didn't chop off my head. Well, no, I always called her correctly. I mean, I always call Lilitu, also her older name, but um, I'll tell you one experience. Lamastu. Has any of you worked with Lamastu before? Lamastu. Has any of you worked with Lamastu before? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I've worked with Lamastu in a lot of things. I do believe that she is an older version of Lilith. She's more older, and she did tell me certain things that had to do with my reincarnation. She's really good at that. I was frightened and terrified from her before I met her because I heard so many stories about her eating babies too. Why is it throughout history you see all these deities that are women eat babies? Because men are too. You get where I'm getting with this? They're so threatened by the women idea in history that every freaking deity freaking ate babies. You guys notice that? It's just nuts. I also worked with Baba Yaga. She's sweet. You guys ever work with Baba Yaga? You guys ever work with Baba Yaga? Baba Yaga is sweet. I've never seen her eat babies in my eyes, but I will tell you. And this is for experience. This is my experience, and this is my method. Everybody has residue of dark matter in their body. It's not good because if it's not transmuted or transformed. But you could go to Baba Yaga and you could ask her, Baba Yaga, I need you to cleanse me. And she will eat the dark matter that does not belong in your body. And you will feel like $1,000,000 afterwards. It will feel weird, but that's the kind of stuff I do in my method. But yeah, really cleanses you, I'll tell you that. So any deity that says could eat babies can eat up that dark matter. Absolutely makes sense from a magical point of view. Like I said, it's my methods. Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing, Fael. Thank you. That's interesting. Well, that's awesome honoring your ancestors. I really don't know my ancestors, so I really, you know. About drugs, I don't have anything against drugs, but I do think try to get that everything open, and it takes longer, but you could do it on command. With drugs, it usually will rip it open. the visions and rip everything open, but it'll be hard to get to that state. I don't think it's bad, though. I think some people are so grounded in this Malkuth material world that some of them probably need a kick in the ass to actually see that there's more to life than just freaking material shit. I've never heard of drugs being able to invoke demons. No. I've never heard of drugs being able to invoke demons. No. I wouldn't mind honoring my ancestors if I knew who the hell they were. I don't know who they are. I never really had a family like that. I was very separated. I never really had a family like that. I was very separated. Well, drugs is cool. I didn't say anything as long as it doesn't involve ruining someone's life, like you just as addiction. I don't see anything wrong with drugs. Drugs are probably needed because of the beatdown of life anyway. I don't have anything against it. But yeah. I love that. I love drugs. And the drugs love me. And the drugs love me. No, they're tools. They're tools. But of course, most of humanity doesn't use them as tools. They just shove them just to escape. I've tried Molly, and Molly was a good experience for me. Many years ago, Molly was good. I liked Molly. Freaking bunch of dopamine and serotonin banging in your head. Cocaine is okay, but it could mess up people's lives, and it could mess up. I know that I've had experiences with it many years ago, and I was yeah, it's I've tried it. It wasn't for me, but I had to try it. I'm a musician, so everybody was doing it, and I decided to try it. I'm not afraid to say that. But you just want to make sure that you try to keep everything under control. Yeah, it's easier said than done. Sorry, it's easier said than done. Siberius. It's easier said than done. Same thing even with magic. You want to go practice. Well, yeah, I mean, even before, I don't know. I mean, everything changes all the time. I know a lot of people in New York was asking me, "You want to go do some ayahuasca?" Yeah, I'm not doing any ayahuasca. I don't need it. It's a spiritual journey for people who need it. If my body asks me, I will do it. But if I felt that I needed it spiritually, but no. Um, Ayahuasca is a plant that people use to get through certain addictions or find certain things they're looking for spiritually, and it's better to do it with a shaman because you need somebody to kind of babysit you while you're going through it. That's what I've heard. Anyway, guys, I would love to talk more, and I will do this again, but I need to go. I have to go do some stuff. I do thank everybody who joined and shared their experiences, and I've learned new things in this conversation. And if people are interested, I will do another stream eventually, probably next week. If anybody's interested in that. yeah, so I've never tried that. I never tried Adderall. But I like to do everything natural. That's just me. To each his own with, their experiences. As long as it doesn't harm anyone. All right, guys. Thank you, guys, for coming. I will be doing a next one next week then. Okay? Hopefully next week. I'll let you guys know. I will post it on the Facebook forums or just keep checking back on the channel. Hopefully I'll have time. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. If you know anybody else that would be interested in this stuff, feel free to share. Help the channel out a lot. Okay, guys. Take care. Great talking to you. And thanks for watching. And those who didn't message or write, thank you for coming. Take care.